Welcome back, friends. Whether you're heading to the airport and calling a Lyft, or maybe you're going out on the town and you need an Uber to pick you up, you need to be aware of what to do if that ride share gets in an accident. Today, we're learning some tips from a legal expert. Joining me now is attorney Jonathan Forstall from the law offices of Chip Forstall. Good to see you.
Good to see you again. Thanks for having me.
We got the blue memo today, clearly.
Absolutely.
Well, I am glad you are on to talk about this because, listen, everybody has been in a Lyft or a Uber before, but
Absolutely.
Knocking on all the wood, okay, never been in an accident in one. How is a rideshare accident different than a regular car accident?
So it really comes down to the insurance, right? Because obviously the accident, it's an accident. But it comes down to the insurance policy and how a rideshare insurance policy is different from a personal policy. And in rideshare, usually they have tiers, right? They have 3 tiers. They have whether the driver was on the or had somebody in the car. They had tier 2, which is whether they're trolling and looking for a ride, and tier 3, if they're just on the app.
Got it.
And so basically what happens is each tier is a different level of insurance. And so it really depends on where they are in that tier and in that phase of the ride. Depends on what part of insurance you fall into.
And for all of the Uber and Lyft drivers out there watching right now, do they automatically get signed up for all 3 tiers when they sign up to be an Uber or Lyft driver?
Great question, yes. And that's very important because a lot of Uber drivers really don't know what kind of insurance policy they have. They don't know whether they're covered, what kind of coverage they have, and I have to explain it to them when they come in. Again, Uber, the policies, it's just different from personal policies.
And as someone who lifted for a hot second while my car was getting fixed, when you sign up to be a driver, they do give you this big old handbook that you do have to read, and you need to read that because in that handbook are those details, are the different tiers. So if you want to drive, make sure you know your rights. But say we are in an accident, right? I'm coming from the club and my Uber driver hits something or someone, right? What should I do as the passenger first?
So as a passenger in an Uber vehicle, these Uber policies, these Lyft policies, they're very large policies. So the insurance companies really look at it with a fine-tooth comb. They look for anything that they can do to deny your claim. And so generally what I tell my clients and everybody out there is that if you get into a rideshare accident, it's best to call an attorney fast because time is of the essence. And so the quicker you call an attorney, the quicker that we can get involved and stop the insurance company from making any denials on your claim or anything like that.
Which is unbelievable because, again, I was just in the car trying to go wherever I needed to go, you know? When it comes to if the rideshare driver is uninsured, do I have to then give my insurance card to the police officer to make sure that some type of insurance is shown?
Sure. So if you're driving for Uber and you're on the app and you have someone in your car, you're automatically covered. Okay. Right? The only time that it would happen where a rideshare driver is uninsured if they think they're on the app when they're really not, or if they think they're trolling for a ride, waiting for a ride, and they're really not, or they weren't on the app. Then their personal policy would kick in, and if they don't have a personal policy, then they would be considered an uninsured driver.
Which is a shame. Now, say I am like, okay, I'm in my Uber, I'm having a good time, we get into an accident, I get an injury. Can I sue the driver, or do I sue Lyft or Uber? Or do I sue both?
Great question, and yes, that's basically what you do is if the Uber driver or Lyft driver is at fault, you would sue the driver and the company.
If I'm injured as a passenger, but say I'm the person who gets hit by the Uber or Lyft driver, then I can also sue the driver and the company.
Correct, correct. The passenger in the Uber and the other driver would have the same type of claim against the Uber driver.
Have you ever seen an instance where, say you do get in an accident, you try to get representation? What sorts of things does the company try to say to kind of make your claim less than what it actually is?
They will say anything that will stick to the wall. And what they really do is they try to just poke holes and see what sticks, right? Whether you have delayed your time in treatment, whether you took months or weeks to get to the doctor after the injury, then they're going to say, oh, well, it wasn't related to the accident. There's a myriad of things that an insurance company can say, and they have a book of what they usually say, and they will do whatever they need to do to try to deny your claim.
Shame.
It's unfortunate.
Is there anything that we can do to better be ready for somebody who may be our Lyft or Uber driver in the vetting process? Or do we need to trust that Uber and Lyft have done their due diligence to make sure there are safe drivers on the road with insurance policies?
Sure. So if you're someone that's requesting an Uber, you're pretty much good to go. Uber does a good job at making sure that their drivers, when they are on the app and driving for them, that they are insured. It really comes down to whether if you were hit by somebody who doesn't have insurance and you are an Uber driver. What's important, what a lot of people don't know, is that Uber doesn't have uninsured motorists. So if you're driving for Uber and someone else hits you that doesn't have insurance,
I'm suing the company. I'm suing everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get Jonathan Forstall to represent me, okay?
Right.
At the end of the day, everybody needs to have insurance and know your rights before you get in a ride share. Jonathan Forstall, my twin for the day. You look good in that blue,
So
brother.
do you, my man.
Thank you. And look, everybody, if you want more advice on this topic, contact the law offices of Chip Forstall by logging on to chipforstall.com. Now look, coming up next, since we have Jonathan on the show today, we have some music in our Chip Forstall soundstage. Our good friend Casmay joins us to perform after the break. Don't move.